My family gaslit me after hanging out with my toxic ex, so I decided to cut them off.
You should probably cut them all off.
Yeah, sometimes, hey, if you got an extra gas line, you got to cut that gas line off, dude.
And explode.
Some background. In January of this year, I, 31 female, broke off my 5-year relationship and we were engaged.
Ooh.
Without going into too much detail, there was a lot of emotional abuse, substance abuse, and neglect. It was an excruciating decision to make, but after 2 years of essentially living as roommates and continuously feeling beat down, I left. Good for you, OP.
Nice. Big.
I had to live with him, 34 male, for 3 more months after that until I could move into my duplex because we were evicting a tenant and it took way longer than expected.
Got it.
This, by the way, this comes from user Kayla the Gym Rat on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So, I have always been close to my brother and they have a 2-year-old baby girl that I love with my whole heart.
Aww.
After I officially moved out, I really got to start the healing process. I met someone and it's been going amazing.
Let's go.
Let's go. My parents/friends love him and he's so consistent and sweet to me. Aww. After I got my security deposit back from my ex, I told him that I was seeing someone, and this is late August. There was an issue with the checks, so it took forever to get my deposit back. This conversation was fine. I told him I was going to block him for a clean cut and move on, and he agreed that that was the best. I texted my sister-in-law and told her that I finally blocked him and that it still stung really bad. I talked to this person every day for over 5 years, and it's a big step. Within 24 hours, I'm flipping through my Instagram stories and she posts a picture of a horse at a rodeo with him tagged. And the next picture is my niece with him in the background. So naturally, I was like, what is going on? Why are you with him? To be met with, you have someone to spend your Saturdays with, and he has no one up here. He's from a different state.
Okay.
So in one fell swoop, she diminished my new relationship and has sympathy for the person who I wanted to spend every Saturday with, but severely mistreated me. They couldn't possibly understand why I would be upset, and I mean, probably because they're brother and sister, and they're not dating. Fast forward 3 months, I distanced myself, spent a lot of time actually healing and enjoying my relationship and cultivating friendships. Work is thriving, and I'm back hitting my fitness goals. So it sounds like you're up, dude. Sounds like 3 months later, you're a new person.
You are winning.
Hadn't talked to them at all, and it was very peaceful. They didn't reach out once, and I was surprised, and that's whatever. I mean, you were going for the clean break.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're surprised. And you're thriving, so everything's cool. I extended an olive branch to say I'm still not okay with this, but I was going to stop dwelling because I miss my precious baby niece. Okay, so trying to be like, hey, I still am not really cool with you, but I'd love to see my niece.
Yeah, make peace.
My brother took over a week to respond and say, hey, I've been meaning to reply to your text to my wife. You're always welcome in our baby's life, and you always have been, but you were the one who chose to step away for as long as you did over a picture on Instagram. We will continue to have a relationship with your ex and understand you don't want to see or hear anything about it. But in the same turn, we don't want to hear about how you're doing with the breakup or anything related to your relationship with your ex either. Okay. I told them I acknowledged that they would probably keep in touch after knowing each other for 5 years, but for them to hang out and put it in my face felt very intentional, especially because she posted it within 24 hours of telling me, within 24 hours of me telling her he's blocked and I don't want to see what he has going on.
Weird. So it seems that the ex has manipulated a story, told the brother and sister-in-law, and they feel sorry for him, and that's why they're hanging out. I don't have anyone to hang out with. She broke up with me because of XYZ. Because whatever news you're told first is what you're going to believe.
Yeah. I think everyone kind of sucks so far in this, where it's like you can't really demand that people stop hanging out with someone else that they have a completely interpersonal, like a relationship separate from your thing, just because of whatever you have going on with them. Yeah. And it also does suck for them to be like, oh, by the way, we have more sympathy for him than you. But This is why relationships get messy.
Real messy.
They can get a little messy. I responded upset, and I let them know I was hurt and was so confused why they couldn't try to see it from my perspective. Also, just how disappointed that I was with them. They responded with, Kayla, there's so much we'd like to say to you in response to your purposefully hurtful and malicious text. But at this point, we're becoming concerned about your mental health and question whether you are confusing reality with your own version of it that you've created within your mind. We hope you seek serious psychiatric help, as it's clear you are not well, as evidenced time and time again throughout the past year in your behavior, paranoia, and increasingly explosive and reactive responses.
Interesting.
Isn't this the same person who didn't respond for 3 months?
Yeah.
That doesn't line up, dude. Until you take the time and space to heal yourself and come back to reality, we wish you the best, but respectfully must take a step back from our relationship with you in hopes that one day we will be able to move forward.
The brother said this.
Yeah, this is all extremely extra.
The toxic ex has manipulated a story.
Yeah.
Or we have an unreliable narrator.
Could be both. Who knows? We only know what we're given.
Yeah.
But I think in that 3-month shutdown period, some stories were intricately woven.
Oh, yeah.
On the other side of the fence that you were not privy to.
Yeah.
Because it's so crazy to the flip-flop.
The flip-flop
in that text message is nuts, being like,
it really is.
You are increasingly explosive. And it's like, they didn't speak for months and months.
Yeah.
The gaslighting and trying to convince me I'm crazy, even though I'm the one who hasn't talked to them for 3 months, is crazy.
Yep.
I've always known my sister-in-law for having to be right and never being able to be empathetic in any way. Also, she would always try to get in my head about my ex and point things out throughout our relationship to upset me. But it's never going to upset us if you join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap on our profile.
Tap.
Yeah, there is a little bit more relevant information here, but let's talk.
I think you should take a step back from them. And I understand you're going to miss your niece. They're not seeing reality. And if they're around your toxic ex, I don't know.
Yeah,
bad influences.
It seems pretty cut and dry that they have been manipulated by the ex. Because if you haven't spoken to them for 3 months, how would they know about what's real and what's not? So it sounds like they've just chosen a side and chose the ex's perspective on things. Because how would they even know yours? You haven't spoken for 3 months.
Yeah,
for them to be like, you need psychiatric help before we talk to you.
Yeah, they're just getting fed from the ex, dude.
Yeah. Well, hopefully everything is settled in this final.
We'll see,
bit
dude.
Here.
I doubt it.
Just cut. You have every right to cut these people out. So her maid of honor stopped talking to her after she went through a painful breakup, and my sister-in-law basically said to get over it. So I said, I see why she walked out of your life after a painful breakup. The way they can't take accountability for their behavior and then go to my parents saying how concerned they are about me is insane. So I'm making the decision to not attend holidays. My best friend's family welcomed me with open arms like they have for the past 14 years.
Nice.
And have been better to me than my actual blood.
Wow.
Mom cried when I told her that I wouldn't be there. Christmas, I think my new man and I are going somewhere tropical and going to start our own traditions.
Nice.
I love my niece, but I can't take the gaslighting and manipulation for trying to explain why my feelings were hurt to have them continue to think how they act and what they said was okay.
Yeah.
Am I the a-hole for cutting them off and thinking she posted him on purpose for me to see? So
I don't know about the posting part, but you can definitely count yourself on the first one.
I will say that cutting off the two offenders, definitely not the a-hole. However, by letting this dynamic with your brother and his sister and your sister-in-law and his wife, by letting the dynamic between you two affect others in the family that have nothing to do with this, I think it does kind of become an a-hole move.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's fine to
I thought the family sided with the brother.
I don't think that we've gotten confirmation on that. I think
Okay.
it's just been they've kind of approached the family and been like, we're concerned about OP's
Got it.
behavior because of X, Y, and Z. But a great way to get in front of that is to have a discussion with those people in your family instead of just also just completely dropping out of family gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't go out of my way to interact with these two, but I think just because they're going to be like at Christmas, like that doesn't mean that you should cut yourself out of that. Yeah,
because of who you have issues with.
And you're letting them, in my perspective, like that's letting them win.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's maybe like toxic, but like maybe I'm just I put things in the context of like a competition, but it's like, I wouldn't let these people push me out of the family, like over some nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, they don't deserve to have the power in this situation.
Yeah. You're letting them win.
Yeah. Not to make it a win or lose thing, but that's just what it feels like.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, maybe don't cut off your whole family. Definitely go no contact with these folks.
Yeah.
And then think of how great it'll be. You get to see the niece at Christmas.
Yeah.
And you can interact with the niece and not her whack parents.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So think about it.
And that's the end of that episode.
Mwah.
If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.